What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to working on the Yukon. Let's try to get this thing finished. All right. Let's get these tires off. Okay, with the tires out of the way, I'm just going to get straight after it with the death wheel. All of this remaining metal from the coil spring mounts needs to be removed, and I'll go back over this with flat disc and get everything as flat, smooth, as clean as I possibly can. It just takes a while because this stuff is really thick, and my grinder that I use for every job, it's starting to quit on me. So probably halfway through this job, I ended up saying, to heck with the battery operated stuff, I'm gonna go buy a corded grinder. And so I just ran out to Home Depot and picked one of those things up, and it worked great. Didn't have any more issues with batteries dying after that. And I also had to remove the old airbag mounts. They were just too tall, too awkward. I didn't like the way that they sat directly on top of the factory spring perch. So I just cut that off, just moved the factory spring perch. And right about here is where I'm not paying attention, and I start shooting sparks directly at the lens of my GoPro and just totally fried it. You'll notice it during the rest of the episode. You'll see little fuzzies and halos, and it looks like I have a dirty lens. Nope, it's just been blasted with molten bits of metal. These are the mounts that I got. Just bought them off Amazon. 3/16 plate. This is the passenger side, so I'm just going to label it and then put an arrow pointing forward. The reason I'm doing that is because there's a cross member under the car that's getting in the way of this little leg right here. I'm just going to zip that off. Okay, that's a brake line. That's the perch I got to cut off. And that's the gas tank. So, no pressure. Okay, enough messing around with the batteries. If I walk away with all 10 fingers tonight, I'm gonna call that a win. Tools like this one is the reason why your great uncle is missing part of his ring finger. If I can get this little nub off and that little nub off, I can switch to the flat disc and
be less terrified. I think I popped the breaker. I've got the new mounts here. Had to shave some off the side just to match the pitch of the frame. It kind of narrows in towards the back. This will be tied into the cross member. That cross member is welded in, so not worried about it. It's going to be great. Probably stronger than just having this by itself. Anyways, it's all mocked up. I'm going to crawl under the car and I'm going to tack this into place. All the factory stuff's cut out of here. This is where the factory coil spring was. She gone. Had a little bit of an oopsie there with a plasma cutter, but that's okay. Now I just got to make this side look like that side.
So I've got everything cleaned up now. Just taking the whole airbag assembly and just test fitting it into place for the last time. The frame of the car, of any car, is not flat and it's not straight. It's got shape to it. It's got bends and curves, and it's tricky to get something like this fit in there. So after many hours of crawling under the truck and getting back out and laying back down and getting back up and all the test fitting over and over again, it's done and it fits great. So I'm really happy with it. I really wanted to take my time and get everything fit up as tight as I could. So I just made sure to use my profile gauge, and I just made a lot of minor adjustments to the mounts. And this whole section right here took me a day just on its own. So it turned out really nice, and I'm really happy with it.
I've made progress, been working slowly but surely. Airbags are in and mounted, all welded up. Reusing the original wiring that I had from the other compressors. All the air lines are ran to the manifold. Still gotta wire this guy up. But right now, with the air compressors wired up, when I hit the key, they should turn on if everything works right. So let's go do that. Here we go. They're running. Yes! Tons of air leaks because I don't have everything plumbed with the pipe dope on it, but so far so good. Make sure my wiring's not getting hot. Because, you know, last time that happened, almost burned my truck down. All the wiring melted. That's why my relays are not in relay holders anymore. Yeah, they melted. But this is good. This is good to go. Ha ha! Victory! Name brand parts, man. It's amazing. Those things aren't even getting warm. Turn the key off, and those should turn off. Yep. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, the last step. Just run 3 wires to that manifold, hook up an app to my phone, and we're done. I'm gonna get back to it. So I've just got to very neatly, discreetly run it all the way up there under some seats and under the carpet, and yeah! Perfect. All right, it is several days later. I have been working on this thing off camera, and you know, I wanted to mock everything up and just test everything, so that way we could end the Yukon saga with a win. But that's not gonna happen. This guy right here, Airlift Performance 3S manifold. There is no controller for it. You just link it to your phone through the Airlift Performance app, which sounds really cool. It's got all of the features that the controllers have. So if the app would talk to the manifold, everything would be fine. It's all wired up, it's all ready to go. But there's a communication issue between the application and the manifold itself. So once again, it's a fail. I'm sorry, nobody's more bummed about this than I am, but I've reached out to Airlift Performance directly. I'm still waiting to hear back from them, so we'll see how this goes. I'm sorry, I wanted this to be a win. I wanted to be driving this thing around. I miss driving my Yukon. I love this thing. I've been wanting an all-black Yukon since Robin Big was on TV. Here we are, on jack stands for over a year now. Ridiculous.